Hello and welcome to another video from toy-polloi. In today's video we're going to take a look at making a replacement cape for a New Adventures of He-man Skeletor. If you're like me and you collect loose vintage toys, you'll often find bits missing, and with the New Adventures of He-man Skeletor, the most common bit missing is his cape. As you can see here, I've got a couple in front of me. This guy here doesn't have his cape. This guy here does have his cape, but this is one I have made. So what you're going to need to do is make a replacement cape out of some nice pink material. First up, I've created a special guide, which is the shape and size of the cape. This was provided to me by my friend Uncle He-man, and I've scanned it in and made this nice guide. This will be available on my website, so you can download that for free and use this to mark out your own capes. Next up, probably the hardest thing to do is to find the correct material. Now, I've been hunting for quite a long time, not found anything the exact match, but I did pick up this stuff in a shop in Tokyo, which is pretty good. I've looked through shops in Britain and not found anything so far, so I know that was a little bit of a long way to go, but it's the best stuff I've found so far. It's a nice pink colour, matches the original, and is the same sort of weight and almost the same finish as the original cape. So what you'll need to do is cut out the guide that I showed you earlier, and then I have stuck some double-sided tape onto the back of this, and you then stick this onto the fabric and use that as a guide to cut the fabric to the right shape. So let's go ahead and do that. So here we have a small section of the fabric, and I'm going to use my guide here with the double-sided tape on it and just stick it onto the fabric. The double-sided tape has enough stick to sort of hold it in place, and you can then cut around it. I tried doing this with pins, but the fabric was just too sort of slippy, and because you're doing such a small area, it didn't work particularly well. So now once that's stuck, you can see like that, I can now go ahead and cut around this shape, and we'll have a decent shaped cape for Skeletor. So here we have the shape cut out, so now all I've got to do is carefully peel off the double-sided tape to paper, like so. And as you can see, we have a nice cut out, the perfect shape for Skeletor's cape. I'm going to go away and cut out a few more of these now, because I have 4 Skeletors that need capes, and then we'll get on with sewing on the elastic. For the next stage, we need to sew a small piece of elastic just across the top of these two sort of bulges on top of the cape, and there's no point in going out and spending a lot of money on elastic. If you buy things like shoes or slippers or stuff from Tesco's, they're often held together with small bits of elastic, or as you can see here, this is some cat toys that I bought for toy-polloi resident cat, and the toys were held in with elastic, and this elastic is almost perfect to use. So just sort of keep an eye out for things to keep and add to your toolbox, and it can save you an awful lot of money. So here we have a bit of elastic that I've saved from something. I think this was from a pair of slippers that were elasticated together, so again saved me a little bit of money. So what you need, a small amount of elastic and a needle and thread. I've just borrowed this from Mrs. Toy-polloi, so I'm just going to sew this carefully at 2 points at the top of this cape, and it should be ready to test and see if it works on Skeletor. So let's go ahead and do that. So here we have the elastic sewn on. I've purposefully left everything a little bit long so I can just cut it short at the end. It's a lot easier to work with things if they're too long. Gives you a lot sort of more leeway to sort of pull things around. So I can now just cut these to the right length. So here's the finished cape. Let's put it onto Skeletor and see how he looks. It should just slot over his head like the original cape did, and it looks pretty nice. Let's put his helmet back on, and there you go. We've got Skeletor with a cape that's a pretty good match for the original. Obviously finding the right material you know, 20 years after a toy's made is going to be quite hard work. And I think this stuff I found is a pretty good match. I'm sure there's probably a better sort of source of material out there, but I couldn't find it. So if anyone knows a sort of a better type of material, do let me know, because I'd always interested to sort of find out you know, a better way of making these things. But as you can see, it's a pretty straightforward job. Took about 5 minutes to make a cape, and it makes these figures look much better. Without the capes, they just look a little bit lost. So if you want to do this yourself, download the template for the cape off my website and have a go. It's a pretty good fun job, and thanks for watching.